And my score for 12 Monkeys is... Hang on, is this the future or the present? 12 Monkeys was released in 1995, was directed by Terry Gilliam, was written by David and Janet Peoples, starring Bruce Willis, Brad Pitt, Madeline Stowe and Christopher Plummer. And it was based on a short film from 1962 called Jetee, which I've never seen and I'll have to check out. I've watched this film as part of my IMDB Top 250 movie series. If you'd like to check out some more reviews from this series, click up here. And for more Top 250 reviews, daddy-daughter reviews, and new-to-streaming reviews, please consider subscribing. As this film is 25 years old, I will be discussing spoilers, so there's your warning. The film opens with some seemingly lazy exposition explaining that 5 billion people will die from a virus, a bit close to the knuckle I know, in 1997, and that the people will have to abandon the surface of the earth. But then we are cleverly told that this is a direct quote from a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. It's a very smart way of hiding quite lazy exposition as a plot point, kind of like when you hide vegetables in your children's dinners. We open in a post-virus future and focus on James Cole, played by Bruce Willis. He's a prisoner who's given the task of going back in time and retrieving a sample of the virus to work out why it wiped out mankind. This isn't one of those time travel films where the protagonist goes back and has to stop an event to save the future, like The Terminator. So Cole can only aid the people that are still alive in the future. He can't stop the virus because it's already happened. There are a lot of similarities here between Cole and Kyle Reese from The Terminator, actually. Both been sent back in time, 100% focused on this vital mission. Both aliens to this world that they've never really seen before. Both are incarcerated and nobody believes their stories, as you wouldn't. And just like Kyle Reese is joined by Sarah Connor on his quest, Cole is joined by Dr. Rayleigh, played by Madeline Stowe, a psychiatrist who joins him on his journey to find the army of the 12 Monkeys, who the future council have believed to have started the virus. The film is typical Terry Gilliam. It's got a kind of ramshackle look. There's no sort of grandeur to it. Everything's dirty. Lots of manic, quick camera shots. Lots of close-ups, sort of fisheye lens. It all adds to this feeling of paranoia and confusion that Cole's suffering. And because of the tone, the way it's directed, the way it's acted, it's quite a stressful watch at times. It's not really a pleasant sci-fi tale. It's very bleak, very pessimistic. The cast are all excellent. Bruce Willis makes Cole very believable, very sympathetic. I think Willis, back in 1995, at the peak of his powers, had a real knack of making his characters really feel like they gave a shit. And so you as a viewer, you give a shit as well, and you sympathise with his plight. Cole is constantly confused. I mean, he's incarcerated in a mental asylum in the first few moments. He's paranoid. He doesn't know which is the past, the present or the future. And Bruce Willis nails it, really. He's not over the top. Brad Pitt, on the flip side of that, is totally over the top and very manic, although he's meant to be. He is a patient in the asylum with Cole at the start of the film. And he plays a crucial role. He's the red herring. He's not really the bad guy, but you think he is. A very likeable performance full of typical Brad Pitt tics and shakes and stuttering and rubbing his hair, all the usual things he does, but turned up to 10. Madeline Stowe is good as well, although I'd like her character to have a bit more about her. She's the doubter to start with. She's the cynical doctor, as you'd expect, but she comes to believe Cole's story, so we sympathise with her as well. The supporting cast is really good too. Christopher Plummer is especially Christopher Plummery, very grand, threatening. David Morse is really excellent in a small role, the understated bad guy, quietly spoken and smiling through as he plans to kill the world. I've seen this film a few times and I used to believe that the end was incredibly pessimistic. I used to think that the Cole character was stuck in an eternal time loop because he has flashbacks of himself as a boy, seeing himself die in the airport, and he does at the end of the film. Then that boy would have grown up, gone back in time, died in the airport. The boy would have seen himself die, grown up, gone back in time, forever and ever and ever. And although that's an incredibly unpleasant and pessimistic ending, I actually quite liked it. It fits with the film. The film's very bleak, and you know there's not going to be a happy ending here. But on rewatch, I realised I missed something. The David Morse character in the very last scene of the film is on a plane and he's escaped with the virus, and so he's going to succeed in destroying the world. And sat next to him is one of the council members from the future who sends Bruce Willis back at the beginning. I hadn't noticed this. So you have to assume that she gets the virus off David Morse, and Bruce Willis's mission is a success, even though he's dead. My only real issue with this film is a bit of a pacing lag towards the last third, when Cole comes back for, I think it's the third time, and he starts to doubt his own story, his own sanity, just at the same time that the doctor believes his story. It's quite frustrating because you want the doctor to believe his story, and once she does, he doesn't anymore, and the film lulls for a short section. As I also said before, it's a bit of a stressful watch. It's not a fun film. But when you're flitting about in time and you're paranoid and going mad and don't believe yourself and doubting and trying to stop a virus, it's not really meant to be happy. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing... Is this the past? Oh, for fuck. And my score for 12 Monkeys is 8 out of 10. Next up for me, a couple of new to streaming service reviews from Disney Plus and Now TV. I take a look at Frozen 2 and recently added to Netflix The Nightingale. So please subscribe for those videos and many more to come. And thank you for watching.